I think the large software companies, if you look at the top 4 or 5, Infosys, TCS, Wipro and Satyam and other companies, Cognizant, they are very, very focused on knowledge management systems, right? But there is no standard model of success that has emerged yet. And again, knowledge management, I guess the whole system is something which is non-standardized. I mean, it's very customized. So every company will know about a very basic set of frameworks, but then have to implement it within their own context. Because the software service industry itself has its own set of complexities. It has large number of people joining, and so you can use a KM system to actually induct the trainees. It has projects which are being done in a very decentralized manner across various geographies. Now there again you can use the knowledge management system to put together people who are developing this, and as a result you can support the customer a lot better. You have large maintenance projects. You also have projects where probably you're trying to develop something new, and when you're talking of a maintenance project, the KM system can be used to interface with people probably who wrote the system, who designed the system. When you are talking of developing a software product, then the KM system can be used to take inputs from the customer. KM system can be used to take inputs from the lead users. So I think people are aware of it, but I think there is still a long way to go for most of the organizations. See, it is about managing information or explicit knowledge versus managing tacit knowledge. And what Hansen was arguing was that, let us be very clear, that if you want to manage knowledge that can be written down on a piece of paper or that can be externalized, that can be documented, then you must have a very strong documentation strategy. You must have very strong information systems, you must have search algorithms, you must train people to look into the repository and understand it and then do your projects. Whereas when you're talking of organizations like, say, McKinsey, or an organization like somebody who is into unique problem solving, he talks about Sloan Memorial Hospital, where they deal with unique cases of cancer. Now there they are saying that the documentation strategy is of no use, or it is of little use. What you need is to put people in contact with one another, and that's what he called a personalization strategy, because that helps transmission of tacit knowledge. So my view is that, again, depending upon your business objective, one needs to pick and choose. You cannot be very exclusive. You cannot say I will only do personalization and not do documentation, codification, but you will need to have a healthy mix of the two depending upon what kind of problems you are trying to solve. I don't think companies are pursuing one at the cost of another, but I have a feeling that companies who are focused on services, companies who are focused on delivering standardized solutions will obviously start with the documentation strategy. But more and more companies realize that that is the starting point, that is the entry into the global competitive market space, and I need to build on top of that with a personalization strategy. So if you ask me the status today, it is largely codification, but all of them are saying that how can I complement my codification strategy with a personalization strategy. Effectively it means how can I complement dealing with explicit knowledge